Hello traders, this is my evening video and I'm going to give you just a quick rundown of some of the things that I saw today. And what started the morning off was some news out of China. They were doing some political posturing ahead of the G20 as Trump's talking about putting tariffs on everything. So they came back and they had some yahoo come out and said that this trade war could lead to World War III type thing. Comments like that coming out right ahead of the big negotiations and stuff. And it's all a bunch of posturing before the negotiations hit. But talk like that, it tends to rattle the markets a little bit. And traders were starting to build positioning to protect themselves going into this G20 event. Not for sure exactly how it's all going to work out and stuff. And I think after, I don't know what time in the evening it happened, but the Chinese markets really took it on the chin last night. And you see this candle. At first, they took off real high, and I'm pretty sure the news came out, and that's whenever everything just started falling apart. This is a Shanghai Composite. This is out of Beijing, and they opened on the high, and they just slowly but surely bled lower all the entire session. And that's the Shanghai Composite. And then you have the Hang Seng doing a similar situation, and that's the Hong Kong market. And we had a really strong open. Now we're coming down here. We broke out, and we're retesting this breakout area, and it rattled the markets here. Also about the Chinese name stocks, and that are traded on the U.S. exchange, because some of them, many of the high flying stocks really are taking it on the chin here. I'm going to start with let me go through here, and I'll give you an idea. Baba's a pretty good name here. We came right into some resistance. I was not trying to do that. Zoom. Okay, there we go. And as you can see, we came right into this downtrending trend line, and we were trying to push out above. I thought we'd get to the top of the cloud and then maybe revert back, but it didn't even have enough strength today to do that. And we're coming right back into our trading algos. So market maker algos. So this is a very toppy looking chart pattern, suggesting we're going to have some reversion down tomorrow, quite potentially. And they were loading up on the. I got two different lists for the puts. This here, they started adding puts on the Baba today. It popped out as one of the top low volume put buyers as of today for Baba. And then what got me, there was a lot of put buying. They were right under the radar. You weren't getting over 1,000 lots per expiration level, but it was slowly adding up on if you had on all the different levels and stuff. And like Baidu, they were buying puts in that. It's already been way down here anyway, but they were loading up on puts on the Baidu. Intap, another Chinese name, NetApp. There you go, buying puts on NetApp. Weibo, that's another name, really beaten up, but they're still buying puts down here going into this G20 thing. Okay, and then you also have WDC, Western Digital. They have quite a bit of exposure in China. They were getting buying puts up on that one too. And let's see here, Tesla. Those are the main ones I want to point out on that theme there. And surprisingly, this morning, it's not showing up now, but this morning they were actually starting to add positions in retail, puts into the retail space to protect against the whole G20 thing, I think. And that was earlier this morning, but it kind of all reverted as the market kept going up. But that's something I want you to be aware of, that they were buying some protection going into the G20. And with the exception of Amazon, the other retailers, they were buying a little bit of protection. Because, all those goods come from China. If they put tariffs on everything, it's going to directly impact those retailers. Okay? And some other things. I'll start with the put side here. MasterCard, I mentioned that in my noon video. It was pretty active today. And it's really got one heck of a pop here, way above the expected value areas and stuff. And it's coming crashing back down today to the 200-day moving daily average. So it had a nice little sell-off today. They were getting those. And Lockheed Martin. It looked like it was going to break out this morning on the trend line. But the pop that they got today, right up to resistance, they started adding up on the puts. And the puts actually, despite the pop on Lockheed Martin today, the puts were up today, believe it or not, on Lockheed Martin. So somebody's got a lot of fear. They must have been really jacking the price up on Lockheed Martin puts, because it did come across my scan as a strong put thing. And in Tesla, I mentioned that in my noon video. Sure. And it is quite, there was a former gap up in this area. But yeah, this here is a sell zone for Tesla. And it just kind of bled down most of the day away from this sell zone for Tesla. And it never did get down to the algo level, but it was under pressure today. And Apple. And I'll finish off my main put action with Apple. And we got above the value area here, and we came right back in just a little bit today, and we're trying to defend above that. I did get some puts for the overnight session, thinking that we're not going to be able to hold this level here, and we're probably going to be coming down to the 175 area tomorrow if the market starts to sell off. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, it doesn't look too pretty here for Apple. Now on the call side, markets could rally tomorrow. I mean, don't get me wrong about that. I mean, Boeing, just a standout. It just keeps on trucking. I mean, it's completely wiped out this in 3 days' time. It's gone completely through this trading channel, and it just keeps on trucking north. So that's one of those stocks that just keeps on paying if you're on the long side. So it does look really extended here for the week. And if the markets were to come in tomorrow, I would think Boeing would be one of the prime candidates. Today's open is actually a good spot to target for the short side, as far as I'm concerned, for the Boeing. I think it's gone too far, too quick if the markets are a little bit weak. And then Qualcomm was really strong today, and I didn't hear the news on it, but there must have been some sort of news out. It came shooting up, but look at this, very weak close on Qualcomm. But most of today's value, I believe, was put in on the top end of Qualcomm today, so it could be a dip buying opportunity if the markets were to take off tomorrow. That it does look like it's overextended here, though. First, all of today's value was put up on the right here at the highs of the day, and then we had an end of day sell off. So pretty much all the value was put up here at the top of the day. So the markets come in and they seem to be all right. Qualcomm's probably a long tomorrow. And Facebook, of course. And I mentioned this last night. It was one of my favorites for the long side, and it put in solid value near the top of the range today, and it had a very strong breakout move today. It came into the algo, and it sat there for a good while, and then once it crossed over that algo that second time, it just took off to the moon, and it really didn't give a whole lot back whenever the market sold off at the end of the day. And and then McDonald's falls on my thing too. And I can get to pull up here. McDonald's is just completely parabolic here, and it's done most of that this week. So I can definitely see this coming in tomorrow. If the market comes in and it's a little bit weak, that I can see some responsive selling in McDonald's tomorrow because of the overextension. And let's see here. McDonald's. Oh, Netflix. Netflix is really strong today. And I traded this on the downside today, and that was my biggest winner of the day. And once it hit that low, it just took off to the races today. I had the algo low. It came right. Netflix came right down here. Some reason my algos are messed up. There it is over here. It's showing it over here a little bit better. My chart's a little bit off there, I think. It came right down to this algo low, and responsive buyers came right in, and I sold right down here, and ended up closing right at the algo highs. And despite the end of day market sell-off, Netflix didn't give anything back. This is the strongest stock out there right now, so just be extremely careful. This is not one you want to short. There are some big buyers coming into this. So as far as tomorrow goes, let me check the calendar out. Give me 1 second. There were some very positive results to earnings over that just hit just a couple hours ago. Splunk is gapping up. It's not as high as it was. Workday was really having a very good session. Salesforce.com was a crucial tell that whole sector is really hot right now. So we're probably going to see more action in Salesforce to the upside and Microsoft tomorrow. So that could be putting a bid under the NASDAQ in the morning, given how positive Workday was, and possibly even Square. Palo Alto Networks, I think it gapped up too. I forgot to check that. I think it was strong too. VMware, let me think here. Oh, yeah, VMware, it was gapping up. HP, it was a little bit down, HPQ, and then PVH took it on the chin. Okay, and I didn't check Ambarella. That's a Chinese stock. Give me 1 second here. And then Ambarella is gapping up. So, yeah, there was, for the most part, very positive earnings results in the after-hour sessions. So this end-of-day sell-off might have not been warranted. Tomorrow morning, we got SFun. Really nothing major hitting on the earnings front tomorrow. 1 second, let me check the... And then if you look at your economic calendar, there's really nothing major hitting the tape. Personal spending, that could be bullish for retail, bullish or bearish for retail, based on personal spending month on month. And that might be should be up because of the no, that's for last month, I think, month on month for last month. So this is backwards looking for personal spending. But if that's up, that would be a bullish tailwind for retail stocks. And then we do have our FOMC minutes coming out later, 2 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. And unless they come out in the minutes with something other than what he mentioned in the speech yesterday, it's probably a non-event. But that is something to be worried about, that they might do something crazy that investors aren't expecting. At any rate, thanks for listening, and I hope this helped you guys out some. For the most part, I see tomorrow a lot of positioning, probably put protection being bought for the G20. Everybody's going to get themselves positioned, and actually just, I'm planning on taking some straddles. So if anybody knows what that is, if you all know what that is, that means buying at the money calls and at the money puts and expecting a big move next week. Because I honestly don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen. And at least that way, if there is a big move, I should be able to capitalize on it. And that I know a lot of traders, that's what they're planning on doing, some out of the money or some straddles or strangles that typically you don't do stuff like that unless you're expecting a real big move. Okay, good luck and good trading.